So we all know Utah's in the middle of a fire sale. Donovan Mitchell gone. Jordan Clarkson starting to join that list because now Donovan Mitchell, Pat Bev, and Rudy Gobert are gone. Bojan Bogdanovic, Malik Beasley, Mike Conley, Jordan Clarkson, Rudy Gay are all on this names. But let's talk about my man, Jordan Clarkson. So, listen to this. It's kind of interesting, and I think it's funny. It's funny with everything that's going on. But following the departure of Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert, many around the league are anticipating the Jazz to look to move Jordan Clarkson, Bojan Bogdanovic, and or Mike Conley before the trade deadline. Jordan Clarkson has generated the most interest thus far with the Memphis Grizzlies, the Milwaukee Bucks, the Sacramento Kings, and the Toronto Raptors said to be teams with initial interest following Rudy Gobert's departure earlier this offseason. Sources told Fastbreak. So basically, the Grizzlies, the Bucks, the Kings, the Raptors are the four teams interested in Jordan Clarkson. So let's go through all of them. We'll start with the Grizzlies. Grizzlies need kind of even though that they have themselves Tyus Jones, they kind of need a guy who could be that off the bench guy. And Jordan Clarkson makes about $13 million a year. So yeah, 13.3. So when you look at like the Grizzlies, they would probably want to send either Danny Green's contract, even though he's with a torn ACL. That would be perfect for the Jazz if they give him a pick, Danny Green, and give him potentially like Kelly and Tilly package with Danny Green and a pick could work. But I think that actually gets you only at 11.9. But if you do this, if you do Dillon Brooks with Kelly and Tilly, that puts you at $13.3 million plus a pick for Jordan Clarkson. Okay, I think the deal that you would have to offer for Jordan Clarkson would have to be Dillon Brooks and Kelly and Tilly and a pick. Those three assets, a future protected first round pick, Dillon Brooks and Kelly and Tilly will get you Jordan Clarkson on the Grizzlies. Now the Bucks, I think, is a better fit because look, defense is kind of the name of the game for the Memphis Grizzlies, and the same thing for the Bucks. But the Bucks have never had a backup, point guard or like a scorer for Drew Holiday. And one could argue, you could just straight up swap a pick and Brook Lopez for Jordan Clarkson. But I don't think they would want to give up Brook Lopez because I think they still view him as valuable. So I think they would have to do a deal where it's around Grayson Allen, George Hill, and maybe throw in Lindell Wigginton in there. So Lindell Wigginton, Grayson Allen, and George Hill would get you at literally like $14 million. You might have to throw in a pick, but Jordan Clarkson, Javon Carter backing up Drew Holiday, and I guess Jordan Clarkson could start, or you could move into the starting lineup Pat Connaughton. And that's the other deal you could do is if you didn't want it to be Grayson Allen, you could probably do a deal where it's Pat Connaughton and George Hill. Then you package up, bottom of the rosters guys. Like, I guess it would have to be. It's a little bit harder now. You look at the roster and you're like, oh. But I think Grayson Allen really would have to be in this deal. I don't think you can do a deal with the Bucks without putting Grayson Allen in there. Now, next up is we had the Kings and the Raptors. I think the Kings could get this deal off a lot easier than a lot of us imagine, with the Kings only needing to trade to get themselves there. They could trade Rashawn Holmes and Chemzi Metu, and they'd easily get him, but I doubt the Jazz want Rashawn Holmes. So that deal would have to include expiring contracts, most likely. So, in my opinion, this deal would definitely have to be around Terrence Davis, Alex Len. You're at 7.9 right there. Chemzi Metu puts you at 9.9. You're still short. Okay, you still need $4 million. And this is where it gets hard, okay? Because the only deal I see happening is Rashawn Holmes, unless they want to package Davis, Lynn, Lyles, because right there that puts you at 10.5. Then this puts you at 12.4 if you put Chemzi Metu. So you really would need just a guy like Sam Merrill. So if you do a deal where it's Sam Merrill, Chemzi Metu, Trey Lyles, Alex Lynn, and Terrence Davis, which is like 5 players, which I doubt the Utah Jazz would do. That one's harder. And then the Raptors as the final team, which I think the Raptors, I would love it, but they kind of have Gary Trent already and Fred VanVleet. And my only thought right here is if they did this deal, it would be to move Khem Birch's contract. But if they want to move Khem Birch, okay, they would have to include in this deal Malachi Flynn. Okay, Malachi Flynn would have to be included. So would Delano Banton. And arguably, right there, Malachi Flynn, Delano Banton, and even, DJ Wilson. All right, right there, you're at 4.2. Then you add on there 5.7. Then 6.6 with 5.7. That's like 12.3. So you're still $1 million short. Okay, so you would have to include someone like Gabe Brown. So the deal would have to be like Gabe Brown, Delano Banton, DJ Wilson, Malachi Flynn, and Khem Birch. And I don't even know if half those guys are tradable.